Hello my dearies, welcome to Knowledge Days, and today we're going to be talking about how to organize your brain so that it actually will remember things that you tell it to remember. And hopefully this will fix your problem because it's kind of helped fix mine. I'm in the process of working on it, and I've heard it's worked for other people and it's been used for a long time. So let's get started. Many people have trouble remembering things, particularly when they get old or they get distracted and they're not paying attention or whatever. There is a cure for this to some extent by how you organize your brain and the thoughts that you have and the things that you're supposed to be remembering. First, let's take a look at how the brain works in remembering things. For the human brain to remember something, it works kind of like going fishing. First, there's the pond, which is your brain, and there's tons of little fish swimming around in it. The fish being your memories. However, you are trying to fish them out with a fishing pole, and you have to have something, a hook with bait on it, to dip down in for the fish to grab onto and yank out. Your memories have to have something that triggers them to bring them back out, otherwise you can't reach them. The method that I'm going to teach you was thought up a long time ago and has been used for ever since then. In Greek and Roman times, philosophers were the ones who did all the thinking because everyone thought, oh, well, let's just let them do the thinking. I don't know. I'm not that great in history. Anyway, so back in Greek and Roman times, they had something called memory in loci, which is the plural form of the Latin location. So memory in location. Basically, that means you have a building with certain objects in it inside your mind, and when you think of a certain object, it helps you remember a certain thing. If you watch BBC's Sherlock, then you know what it's called on there. It's called a mind palace, as shown in this episode, The Hounds of Baskerville. It works for Sherlock, and it'll work for you. First, you have to decide a location for your mind palace. Let's say Sherlock's house, seeing as that's what I use. So, there are all the items in the house. That's the first thing to think about. So this has to be a location that you're very familiar with. For me, Sherlock's house is something I'm pretty familiar with since I'm working on my third time watching the series. Most people need just one room for their mind palace. Some people need more whenever they remember more, like Sherlock. He needs a mind palace because he has so much stuff to remember. So you've got your room. Inside it, you look at all the items, and each item is where you place a certain thing. Like, if I want to remember something that's related to history, I'll go look in the skull on the mantelpiece. And it works best to start at a particular point in walking through the room each time you start to remember something. So, whenever I go to remember something, I start at the skull on the mantelpiece, because that's the very first place that I put something. I look there, and then I look around, saying, there's the science equipment on the table. That can help me remember science stuff. There's the refrigerator. That's where I put everything that has to do with cooking. And then when I turn around to the other side, there's Sherlock's violin. That's where anything related to music goes. I have nothing yet in the two chairs that are sitting there, or the bookshelf. So the next time that you go to try and remember something, think about a location that you could put it in inside your own mind palace. That way, whenever you go to remember something, your brain will have something to grab onto to pull it out. And you won't end up having one of those aha moments 3 hours or 3 days later. This has been the first video on the Knowledge Days channel. I hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe and wait for more videos because they'll be up soon. And I hope you've learned how to make your own mind palace from this video and that you enjoy it. Stay smart, my friends.